News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
They thought garage hopping was just a game. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Wednesday, December 10th, 2014. All right, now outside our patented exclusive weather window, yes, it's dark, but we have freezing fog and we have 25 degrees in Missoula. And our newscast this morning sponsored by Dr. Troy Doxey and the friendly team at Chiropractic Works, where they're dedicated to chiropractic solutions. Call 728-0222. This morning's top story. Robbie Pazmino, the Ecuadorian exchange student who was with Darren Dede when he entered Marcus Karma's garage, took the stand yesterday in Karma's trial in Missoula District Court. Pazmino says he first heard the term garage hopping here in the U.S., but says he and Dede thought of it as a game. They were never told that there could be real consequences for what they were doing.
I thought that it wasn't, good, and I didn't like it, but we never knew that, if you went inside a garage, someone could, shoot you or something like that.
Pazmino said Dede wanted to prove to others that he wasn't afraid, and that was the primary reason for garage hopping.
It was kind of a game to show to all the other guys that he was brave and he wasn't scared. But it wasn't we were not criminals, and that's the thing. It was kind of a game, and we didn't know the rules. No one told us that you could be shot if you went inside a garage, because we don't have that kind of rules in our countries.
When Dede was shot, Pazmino says he ran away from the scene and ended up in the home of Dede's American sponsors, Randy Smith and Kate Walker. Testimony. The trial resumes tomorrow in Missoula District Court. Attorneys for the federal judiciary say the unreleased emails of a U.S. district judge who was reprimanded for sending racist correspondence are confidential and cannot be released. U.S. District Judge Richard Siebel resigned last year after an investigation into a racist email he sent involving President Obama. The investigation found the Montana judge sent and received hundreds more inappropriate messages. A group of American Indians filed a petition in California in July to preserve the emails as evidence, including former Crow Tribe Chairman Clifford Burdenground, who was convicted of bribery in a case handled by Siebel. On Tuesday, attorneys for the judiciary moved to dismiss that petition. Montana Governor Steve Bullock was nominated yesterday as chair of the Democratic Governors Association. Bullock was one of just 17 Democratic governors left in the country and is tasked with finding promising Democratic candidates to compete for office in many deep red states, including Kentucky and Mississippi. Part of Bullock's job will require fundraising, an element of the job that Montana Republican Party Chairman Will Deshaw says is hypocritical for Bullock.
Both he and Senator Tester have derided conservatives for, in their opinion, taking dark money that can't be traced, yet both of them now are going to be heading up organizations that do just that. Go out and collect money from dark money organizations. I guess that's why we're saying he's a hypocrite.
Bullock isn't the first Montana to chair the Democratic Governors Association. Former Governor Brian Schweitzer was the chair in 2009. U.S. Bureau of Land Management officials say all but one of 97 new oil and gas leases offered at auction in Nevada went unsold because of uncertainty about future protection of the sage grouse. About 24 anti-fracking protesters rallied outside the Reno auction Tuesday against the energy exploration they say would be conducted with hydraulic fracturing that threatens Nevada's groundwater. But BLM Minerals Education Chief Patricia Laframboise told the Associated Press it was concerned about the potential federal listing of the sage grouse that scared off all but one bid from 6 representatives of the oil and gas industry. Leases offered for sale Tuesday covered nearly 200,000 acres, or about 300 square miles of northeast Nevada. On Monday, Montana Political Practices Commissioner Jonathan Modell dismissed an allegation from Montana State Senator Jeff Essman. Essman had claimed that the Secretary of State had improperly used her office and staff to support a voters' registration initiative that was on the ballot. Essman says Modell's decision is further evidence that the office needs to be reformed.
Well, I think the decision shows the need for fundamental reform in how the Commissioner of Political Practices office is structured. We are the only office of political practices in the country that vests all the power of prosecution and decision-making in one individual. All the other states have a division of that power.
Esmond describes Modal as a, quote, partisan Democrat, end quote.
It's not striking that, when a partisan Republican like myself sees comments in one fashion and a partisan Democrat like Jonathan Model has a different take on the impact of those comments. What I think it shows is the need for an independent prosecutor and an independent judge in that commissioner's office.
Modal was appointed by the governor but has not yet been approved by the legislature. Esmond says the legislature will definitely look into reforming the political practices offices in the next session when it starts in January. Another defendant has pleaded guilty to federal charges stemming from a corruption investigation on the Rocky Boys Indian Reservation of northern Montana. Former Chippewa Cree Tribal Rodeo Association Vice Chairman Wade Christopher Cauliflower pleaded guilty to theft from an Indian tribal organization during a court appearance yesterday in Great Falls. U.S. District Judge Brian Morris scheduled sentencing for March 19th. Cauliflower was indicted in June as part of a corruption probe that's resulted in the conviction of multiple tribal officials on the consultants and companies awarded contracts for work on the reservation. Prosecutors say he was part of an embezzlement scheme that made kickbacks to Chippewa Cree Council members. He faces a maximum of 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Yesterday, Representative and Senator-elect Steve Daines called on the U.S. Senate to quickly pass legislation containing a number of lands and resources provisions that represent the concerns of Montana's sportsmen, farmers, ranchers, energy producers, and tribes. The National Defense Authorization Act contains Montana defense, land, and resources priorities, which Daines worked to secure.
By coming together, the Montana delegation and Montanans from all corners of our state were able to break gridlock in Washington and bring this most important legislation forward. I'm proud that the House acted last week and passed this bill with strong bipartisan support. I call on the Senate to quickly do the same.
And for more information about the Montana Lands and Resources Package, visit our website at newstalkkgvo.com. Finally, more than 150 cattle valued at almost $350,000 have been reported missing in southeastern Idaho, and authorities aren't excluding modern-day cattle rustling as beef prices have soared. Our News Talk time now, 6:10.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
We will still be looking for a few areas of patchy fog around the Missoula area, but not nearly what we saw the past couple of days. And we are going to be very warm as we head into the afternoon with a high of around 45 degrees. I'm meteorologist Matt Gray for KCI 13.